Elon Musk always had a good relationship with China. So in this video, we're talking about Elon's trip to China, why it was so important, why it was important not just for Tesla, but also for the US. So if you stay long enough, we'll talk about Kevin O'Leary and his opinion on Tesla and Elon. So welcome back to my channel where I give you the latest Tesla news.
China is Elon Musk's frenemy. China is all of our frenemy. They have to play nice in the sandbox with Elon. He's driving the majority of the conversation around EV adoption globally. They have great solutions for their demographic, but they also control 58% of the global supply chain of the core commodities necessary for any EV, any solar, any wind. And so Elon has to play nice with them as well if he wants to be able to tap into that processing capacity and have enough batteries to satiate demand for all the beautiful cars he's building.
Right. And look, Elon just did some really crucial interviews, and he talked about the potential of Tesla and the AI. And you have all different price points. You have vehicles that'll come out that will be very inexpensive. Those are still more on the Cybertruck. Where do you see Tesla heading as a stock?
I think Tesla has a long way to go. Tesla doesn't measure themselves to the metrics that allow us to compare them to the other OEM and car companies because they don't really care about quarterly, month over month, how many cars were delivered. They're trying to build cars as fast and as cheap as possible. And if they overproduce this quarter and underproduce next, they don't care about that. They're about bottom line efficiency, and they're about driving a lower cost so that more people can afford to own their cars. I think Tesla in the long run becomes the core infrastructure for all EVs. I can see a world where Ford F-150 Lightnings have Tesla batteries in them.
Elon Musk was visiting China last week to meet with Chinese government officials, state councilor and foreign minister Qin Gang, I hope I pronounce this right, were meeting with Elon Musk. Qin Gang is a Chinese diplomat and politician who has been serving as a minister of foreign affairs of China. Also, China's second highest diplomat. Elon told Chinese Foreign Minister Qin Gang that he is willing to expand business in China. Elon was told that China was committed to improve the business environment for investors, including Tesla. Now, this is very important. The importance of this issue about the conversation between Elon and Chinese officials is that as of the last 2 years, there has been tension between the US and China. China is now signaling to better relationships for investors, which is absolutely amazing. If you think about it, China recently declined the US request for a meeting between defense chiefs. Tensions are likely related to the US and Taiwan relationship. One of the reasons for Elon to travel to China was, of course, to secure supply chain. If US and China relationships do not improve, it could be catastrophic, not just for Tesla. The significant part is that Taiwan is producing majority of semiconductors. The US is nervous of what China's action will be once 2027 comes around. And maybe Tesla is trying to get their supply, of course, lined up in-house in order to be prepared.
Be a very successful trip just right off the bat, and even on a larger scale, really changing the tone of US-China relations when you see the opportunity and the positive vibes that can be made by working together with China versus, treating them like an adversary. And so, I think it was really positive for America in a lot of ways because they respect Elon so much in China and he's been so successful in China. But what we're getting out of China right now, it looks like they're going to release some sort of specs or what the look of the new refresh Model 3 looks like, and that's kind of exciting because they need to refresh the product. And it just seems like the Chinese is just as beloved with Tesla as they've always been, so that's great news for Tesla.
As we have seen from previous articles, Elon is the master in consulting with the Chinese government officials. Ross Gerber totally supports Elon and his quest to negotiate with Chinese officials.
Yeah, I don't think you can extrapolate out from the Chinese automakers what's happening with Tesla because they all have very unique and individual problems and challenges that are different than Tesla's. But what we're seeing from China data is, they're having a very strong quarter in China. The price cuts have certainly worked in getting more consumers to buy the vehicles in China, and we expect the biggest issue across the globe is actually the slower global economy led by the Fed's outrageous, policy decisions to basically put the global economy into a recession. So that's the biggest issue with China and the United States is really the economy.
Okay. As Tesla trades at $200, it looks fairly uneventful on the chart relative to some of the other stuff in this AI craze that's gone ballistic. I thought that Tesla was one of the main AI plays. We're hearing all this stuff about ChatGPT. Okay, maybe I'll get a new Bing or whatever. Maybe there's going to be some product, but there's literally cars that are driving themselves. How come Tesla's been so sleepy the last couple of weeks? I mean, I know it's rallied a little bit, but...
Well, yeah, it's up 20%, in the last couple of weeks since the shareholder meeting. But remember, Tesla is not a cheap stock. It trades at the same forward PE as NVIDIA today. So NVIDIA really actually just caught up to Tesla when you look at forward PE, because NVIDIA had this massive increase in earnings estimates for next year to over $7. So
Elon had some very interesting insights to share on Tesla's 2023 shareholder meeting in Austin. Elon warned about the recession and challenging 12 months to come. Now, Kevin O'Leary, who was not a fan of Tesla in the beginning, is now a big supporter.
This is a company that is investing heavily at the same time that many other automotive companies are investing heavily in their next leg of growth into EVs. What makes Tesla perhaps in a better position to capitalize on where that trend, where that market share that they existingly have right now, or they currently have, could serve them, could benefit this company at a time where they're continuing to invest?
Well, each quarter, including this one, there's always the speculation by the market that competition is going to erode margins. Competition is going to erode share. Competition is going to slow growth. And yet, that has not happened. There is no company yet that's transitioned to the effectiveness and the efficiency and the productivity that Tesla has around drivetrain, around engine, around chipsets, around batteries. Sure. So there's a moat around Tesla because it was, the first mover, but they've maintained their share through innovation. Everybody criticizes this guy for a million different reasons. But at the end of the day, when you ask somebody if you want to buy an EV, what do they want? They want a Tesla. So GM hasn't come with anything anybody wants. Porsche hasn't done it yet. I'm not saying they won't, but it hasn't happened yet. Meanwhile, they gain share, they reduce price, they're getting more aggressive, they're bringing the truck. I don't see a bad story here, and it's reflected in the stock, although it's a volatile stock. Sure. But if he's saying there's headwinds economically globally, that's the same environment for every company, whether they're in the EV market or not. What they've got that no one else has is 100% focus on EV. They're not dealing with legacy engines of any kind. Nice. Yeah. And so you have a much more efficient use and a much more productive company.
Do you think the Cybertruck is an additive or if I put it simple terms, boom or a bust for Tesla long term?
It's going to be a boom because that crazy looking vehicle has already shown its popularity in pre-orders 2 years ago.
Why?
I want one. I think they're nuts, and I think it would be a lot of fun to drive a tank.
So I'm just wondering, I don't know how intense it would be to produce your own semiconductors, but do you think Tesla should produce their own semiconductors? Elon has been criticized for his relationship with China because he has such an amazing relationship. I was wondering, what do you think? Should he maintain his relationship or do what the media wants him to do, which is nothing? So anyway, I hope you like this video. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.